it is your girl Jade Ashley, and I am back with a new video of When a Beat Drops. And like always, if you want to hear my 5 hottest beats in music of this week, then of course you know you have to stay tuned for more. Okay guys, so let's dive into our 5 hot beats of this week. So my first beat of this week, I have to talk about Mr. Kanye West. Homeboy has been in everybody's conversation this past week, and it sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. This time we're like, what the hell is going on with Kanye? So Kanye, he is on his St. Pablo tour. I know recently he just announced the second leg, the tour dates for that, but you know he's on his tour right now. And we know Kanye, he makes dope, dope music, beats, all of that. We know him as a great musician, but aside from his musicianship, we also know him to be a little crazy sometimes, and he do his little rants. And I must admit, sometimes when he ranting, I be feeling him. But that's only sometimes. That's not all the time. But this week Kanye was losing it again. So he was on his St. Pablo tour, and he broke out in 2 different rants as of recently. So the first rant, he basically kind of just expressed his dissatisfaction, like he was upset with Jay-Z. And we thought Jay-Z would definitely be like the last person that he would ever be upset with, especially that whole saying, don't bite the hand that feeds you and stuff like that, because Jay did a lot for him in his career for him to be who he is today, whatever. So he's upset with Jay-Z according to his rant, because when Kim Kardashian got robbed with the whole Paris thing, when the whole Paris robbery happened and stuff like that, he was upset because Jay-Z called to ask how they were doing, and basically he was like, instead of you calling, why don't you come by the house? And then he went into talking about how Blue and Northwest don't even play with each other. And then he said something else about how, I forgot what track it was, but one of the tracks on Drake's latest album, Views from the Six, him and Jay-Z actually had like a verse or something on there, and that couldn't even get cleared or even make it onto the album, because Drake has this whole deal with Apple Music, and then of course Jay-Z and Kanye West, they over there at Tidal, so it'd be a little friction between the 2 streaming services and all of that. So like everybody like Kanye, like first of all, they wasn't even getting on him with the whole Tidal and Apple Music and the whole because he said something about this before, like in a series of tweets and stuff like that. And people have their opinions on whether or not they like Apple, they like Tidal. He's right, they need to stop competing and everybody just needs to join forces and all of that. People have their opinion about that. So people weren't per se talking about his whole situation with the whole Drake track and him being mad with the whole beef between Tidal and Apple Music. That was the least of everybody's troubles. They were talking about how he was upset with Jay-Z because Jay-Z didn't call him. And everybody was like, y'all know Jay-Z and Beyonce do not play with them Kardashians, so don't even sit here and act like they was about to come over to the crib, because they got a crib in Soho. Because I think right now Kim is somewhere in LA. But when they first came back, or when she first came back from Paris, she came back to their house here, or their apartment here in New York City, in Soho and stuff, or whatever the case may be. And of course, the Carters, they have a place here in New York. I remember seeing paparazzi wise, I believe I saw like Lala Anthony, she didn't stop by the crib and all that. So he was upset because they didn't come out. But everybody was like, Kanye West, dead ass, for real. Like, be real with yourself. You really think Jay-Z and Beyonce gonna come through and, they don't want to be associated with that Kardashian mess? Like, no shade to the Kardashians, but they always tied to some type of mess, and they really trying to stay away from that. Like, they've been around Kim. We've seen her around Kim, or Beyonce and Jay-Z around Kim and stuff like that. And I'm not going to sit and talk like I know personally about whether or not, Beyonce and Jay-Z likes her or her family, but I will say that I don't think they're the best of friends, regardless of like Jay-Z and Kanye West, relationship. I don't think they're like the best of friends. But Kanye knew what he was getting himself into. He knew, like, she's like what you call that, a socialite, that her job is to be mixy. And Beyonce and Jay-Z, they're like stars and stuff like that. And they mixy too, but they mixy with talent. No shade to Kim, but yeah. And then the whole Blue and Northwest not even the same age. They not even in the same age. Like, yeah, they little, but like Blue, she what she gonna do with Northwest? Like, North is a little girl compared to her. Like, don't even get mad. Like, I don't even play with little kids myself. Kanye, get your stuff together. But then he had a whole nother rant that literally just happened last night. While I'm recording this is Sunday, so like this rant will still be kind of like fresh, I guess you can say, where he said that he was going to boycott the Grammys. And he said he was going to boycott the Grammys if, you know, the Grammys don't nominate Frank Ocean's latest album, Blonde. Now, I don't know if he missed this memo, but it was revealed earlier this week. The only reason why Frank Ocean's album Blonde is not eligible to be, you know, nominated is because his album wasn't submitted. Now, his album did drop before the September 30th deadline that, you know, artists have to meet to submit their albums to be, you know, thought of to be nominated for a Grammy. So he knew about the deadline. His album dropped before the deadline, but it was revealed that nobody from his team, you know, submit his album to be considered for a Grammy nomination. Like, they just didn't decide to do it. So it just sounds like, you know, being nominated for a Grammy with his latest album is not pretty much on Frank Ocean's radar. And I know that, you know, he just got out his contract with Def Jam, so he's pretty much, I guess, like solo, like on a like indie tip or something like that, you know. So, you know, I guess the Grammys is the least of his issues. And Kanye West in here talking about, well, if the Grammys don't nominate him, you know, I'm boycotting the Grammys. And everybody like, Kanye, but he didn't want his album to be nominated for a Grammy, so what are you sitting here beefing with the Grammys for? Like, oh, Kanye, just take a chill pill, homie. Just take a chill pill. We are almost there. We are almost at the end of 2016 and into 2017. So I'm gonna need you to just simmer it down. Just calm down. You know, you've been doing great. Your album did well. Your tour is doing well. Just worry about Kanye right now. That's all I have to say. But other than that, we're going to move on to our second beat of this week. And I have to talk about Michel'le. So if you guys checked out my last video, you know I did a review on her Lifetime biopic, Surviving Compton, Suge Dre, and Michel'le. And that did exceptionally well. That biopic actually brought in, like, you know, recording numbers and stuff like that. I think it was like a total of like 2.3 million viewers and stuff. And, you know, Michel'le, she's pretty much, you know, basking in the success of her biopic. So basically, she signed a deal, an overall deal, with the media company that was also behind her biopic, which is called, damn it, I just did a story on it earlier. What's their name? Think Factory. So her biopic was a collaboration between Think Factory Media and Sony, and you know they've done so that it did so well that they offered her like an overall deal, which basically means that, you know, this is a deal for her to do like more television shows, to do more movies, for her to do new music, for her to do like a book deal and stuff like that. So first and foremost, congratulations to Michel'le, because, you know, like, she really opened everyone's eyes, and, you know, she's pretty much been on everybody's radar for this past week. Everybody non-stop talking about this biopic because it was just that great of a biopic. So I know as of right now they are currently trying to pitch a new show. They also worked with her when she did R&B Divas LA, so you know she's used to them. So they're trying to, you know, pitch a new show for her to get back on television. They want to do a docu-series where it's about her and her family and her just basically overcoming everything that she's done. And I think it comes at a perfect time because it was also announced that she'll be dropping a new album in January. So I guess, you know, we can kind of see the process of Michel'le getting back to the artist that she used to be, because I'm sure many people from this generation didn't know how big of a deal Michel'le was when she was out around her time. So to see her kind of like build herself back up, that'd be pretty dope, you know. And she's also supposed to have like a autobiography come out. So once again, congrats to Michel'le. You know, she had a dope ass, you know, biopic premiere on Lifetime, and it looks like things are only going to get better for her from here on out. So we're gonna move on to my third beat of this week, and I have to talk about Prince. So, you know, yeah, Prince's death was definitely a shock to everybody. I remember the day that I did my video, the day of his death, like, I was at a loss for words. But, you know, there's been so much talk about, like, you know, his legacy, you know, this whole thing with his, you know, Paisley Park estate. You know, they're kind of in the process of trying to turn that into a museum. You know, there's been a few tours, I think like 3 tours or something like that happened, but, you know, it's not a permanent museum as of right now. So, you know, just so much going on. But one thing a lot of people were concerned about was what was going to happen to Prince's music. Everybody knows knows that he had this big vault of like unreleased music, and you know, now that he's not here, it's kind of like, are we ever going to get to hear, you know, the music that he left behind from us? And luckily it was announced this week that he will have 2 albums releasing very soon. So the first album to release will be an album called Prince Forever, which is dropping on November 22nd, and basically it's a track list of 40 songs, and it's basically all of Prince's like classic hits and stuff like that. You know, you got Little Red Corvette, you know, When Doves Cry, I Want to Be Your Lover. Like, it's just so many classic Prince hits that's going to be on that album. But aside from that, there is going to be an unreleased song that was recorded back in 1982 called Moonbeam Levels. So never heard before, all the way from the 80s. So it's going to be on that Prince Forever album, which is dropping next month on the 22nd. But then there's a second album that's dropping at the start of 2017, and they will be re-releasing his classic album Purple Rain. So, you know, just to introduce the greatness of Prince to like a whole new generation, and you know, just kind of, you know, just, I don't want to say recycle, but pretty much, you know, just spread the greatness of his music all over again in the wake of, you know, his passing. And which was interesting about the whole re-release of the whole Purple Rain album is that this was a project that he actually kind of like signed off on. It was actually working on prior to his death. So, you know, along with the re-release of all the classic tracks from Purple Rain, it'll also be some more new music, or unreleased music, I should say, that had never been heard. So, y'all know, no offense, but you know, these artists, once they pass on, they make way more money than they did when they was alive. So Prince's estate is definitely about to make bank with these 2 new albums. But we will move on to my following topic, and I want to talk about 2 rappers who are nominated to be in Hall of Fame. So the first rapper I have to talk about is Tupac Shakur. So this week the nominations for the 2017 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame came out, and Tupac for the first time ever was eligible to be nominated. Now, he is able to be eligible to be nominated because it has to be 25 years after an artist has released like their debut project and stuff like that. So it's been 25 years since he released his Tupac, how do you pronounce it? Tupac, let me read it properly. His debut album Tupacalypse, I think that's how you said it. Tupacalypse Now, released 25 years ago in 1991. So with that being the 25th, you know, this year being the 25th year mark, he is eligible to be nominated to be a part of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is pretty dope. And you know, 2 other artists that, you know, found their way back into the ballot that was, you know, nominated last year was both Janet Jackson and my grandmother, Chaka Khan. Y'all know Chaka Khan. That is my grandmother. So, you know, they were nominated last year, but unfortunately they didn't get inducted, but they are, you know, nominated again. So I'm hoping that not only does Tupac, but Janet Jackson and also Chaka Khan make it into the 2017 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But another rapper who was nominated for something is Jay-Z. You know me, Brooklyn all day, every day. I say it all the time. So he was nominated to be a part of the Songwriters Hall of Fame. Now, which makes him eligible to be a part of that is that it's been 20 years since he's been writing, you know, hit singles. You know, his debut album, Reasonable Doubt, dropped 20 years ago, back in 1996. So now that it's been 20 years since his first album came out, he's eligible to be a part of the Songwriters Hall of Fame. Now, if he is inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame, he will be the first rapper. So y'all definitely have to vote for Jay-Z, the first rapper from Brooklyn to be in the Songwriters Hall of Fame. I'm so here for it, and y'all know I already voted for both of them. So other than that, we will move on to my final beat of this week, and I have to talk about Mr. DJ Khaled. So DJ Khaled, y'all know him, Major Key this, Major Key that. He got the album, he got a book coming out. So one thing that he's gonna do with his, you know, Major Key, his motivational speaking, is, you know, help kids with their education. It was announced this week that he is the national spokesperson for Get Schooled. So basically what that means is that, you know, he's gonna be using his, you know, motivational speeches, his keys to success, basically, to, you know, motivate children to basically like stay in school and stuff like that. And he said that he actually got the idea of wanting to help more students when it came to their education when he visited a few Miami schools last year, where he, you know, basically surprised them because they had like great attendance and stuff like that. And, you know, just the reaction from the students, you know, kind of motivated him to want to, you know, get involved with more students throughout the country. So now he's teamed up with Get Schooled to come up with a whole bunch of other programs to motivate these children to basically stay in school, you know, graduate, go into college and stuff stuff like that. And y'all know him, he be dropping the major keys, and like I don't know any other motivational speaker that's popular right now other than DJ Khaled. Not only does he does it through music, but he be using Snapchat and all of that. So shout outs to him for basically getting the title and doing something great with his image and helping kids with education. But those are my 5 hot beats of this week. Okay guys, so I want to thank you for tuning in to this week's video. So I have one quick note to leave you guys with, and I just have to say a congratulations to DJ Khaled. He was my last beat of this week, and I cannot do this video without congratulating him. I'm sure you guys know by now that he finally had his baby boy. We don't know his name yet. We don't know what he looked like, but we was in the delivery room with him up until the very moment he was born, because DJ Khaled sat there and Snapchatted the whole thing. Like, he was in the corner while his fiance was sitting there pushing. He was in the corner Snapchatting with the album playing in the background, and I was just in here like, he's too much. But that's what you expect from DJ Khaled. So congratulations to him and his fiance on their new baby boy. Other than that, I have to leave it with my song of the week, and I was really contemplating what I wanted my song of the week to be, but then I was like, I have to be honest. So like for this past week, like I've been on this throwback thing. If you guys follow me on Snapchat, and if you don't, you should, Jade_Ashley94, I have these moments where I kind of do like these little throwback playlists, I guess you can call it. And yeah, like I'll play like 90s hits or like early 2000s. Like I just be in my, not in my feelings, but I just be in a moment where I just think about the music from the past, and it just warms my heart and it just makes me happy. And you definitely cannot compare that great music from back then compared to the music today. Not saying that I hate all of the music for today, but it's some classic hits. But one of my favorite songs that I've been listening to as I've been traveling back in time this past week is a Drew Hill song, These Are the Times. And I believe when this song came out, I was very much a baby, but trust me, I remember it. So I just wanted that to be my song of the week. And if you guys are not on your 90s music, y'all definitely need to get up on it. So I will definitely link the song below if you're not familiar with it. Other than that, once again, I want to thank you for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time. So bye. Hey guys, thank you for watching, and don't forget to share and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.